Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are doing a Gladiator all-access event. Now, so for those who are not familiar with Gladiator, this is essentially 100 card singleton that is using the card pool of Arena. So it's pretty much all historic decks. There's a small ban list. It's not that heavy. Last time we showcased Gladiator, we were doing Gladiator shrines. I'd say this time let's showcase something from Brothers War. So we're going to be using the prototypes here. Let's actually also double check. There's some... Okay. There used to be a time where they would also give us like examples of Gladiator decks you can run, but this time they don't have it. Anyway, it is an all-access event, so you have access to every card to your heart's content. Well, at least one copy of every card anyway. And as I said, we're going to feature something in Brothers War, so we're going to be going over the prototypes this time. So the key here is that the prototypes seem to have a really high curve here. But if I were to adjust the curve to all their prototype costs, so let's say Steel Seraph costs 3, Cradle Cutter costs 3, Clear Cutter costs 3. Combat Treasure cost 3. We are running all the prototypes in green, white, and blue because that's the one with the highest density. Arcane Proxy costs 3, so that's a solid one. Boulder Branch Golem costs 4. Iron Crusher costs 4. Spotter Topter costs 4. The Metamorph also costs 4. Then we get to the higher ones. The common Rust Goliath costs 5, but Woodland Automaton costs 4, so our curve actually looks a lot more reasonable if we use the prototype costs. But then again, we're not happy with just sticking with prototypes here. So what we have is basically a blink strategy to blink them and bring them back in. So toss a Deep Dwelling, Teleportation Circle. Those are the repeatable ones. Soul Herder's also repeatable, but also quite vulnerable. But aside from that, we have other ways of blinking stuff here. Momentary blink counts. We have a copy of Ephemerate, so that gives us 2 shots at it. Hallowed Respite works pretty well. Then we also have Niambi Beloved Protector. Not exactly blink, but if our opponent is able to take out one of our creatures, we just get it back. So this is probably annoying if there's no XL on the way. Now, as far as the rest of the deck's concerned, we're keeping it mostly white. It makes it easier for us to run our double white cards like Skyclave Apparition, Pull of the Mist Moon, Elspeth Conquers Death. We are not running that many creatures that go out with blink, so just make adjustments based on how you feel you need it. We're also adding a little extra spice here. 1 copy of Urza Lord Protector and 1 copy of Mightstone and Weakstone, with a copy of Moonsilver Key to tutor for Mightstone and Weakstone. I could go the Snowland route and we can run Search for Glory. That's a way to also give us an extra tutor, but this is more incidental. We're not really tutoring for the Urza combo. Otherwise, this is a pretty relatively solid deck. There are times when it gets a bit hairy, but we did validate our one match win. For the most part. We also are aware that we're running kind of high on the land count, 38 lands in addition to 3 MDFC. So, but then again, sometimes you do have to hard cast, and having those extra lands is an option. So that's something nice to have. But otherwise, it's all about seeing if we can get the early combo in our opening hand. And right here, no combo whatsoever. We got a Mind Stone for acceleration. We can buy some time between Pull of the Mist Moon and Touch the Spirit Realm. We're gonna keep this. It's not really that exciting. So we're hoping to hit blue mana here. No, we hit green mana instead, but we're not gonna complain. We are gonna run it out. Yeah, kinda need blue mana to hit the Spotter Topter. Opponent's playing mono green, so we might be able to get some good shots with Touch the Spirit Realm. Okay, and Ooh. Well, it's not like we're doing it anyway, so... Touch the Spirit Realm. Yes, this is Ward 1, right? So it's Ward 1. And next turn, probably play Teleportation Circle. This only blinks artifacts or creatures. Opponent might just... Yeah, they're gonna end up making food tokens. That turn was a wash for them. Gonna play Broker's Hideout here. Grab ourselves an island. And we will run out Teleportation Circle. This gives us an option to... Oh, we can actually blink the Mind Stone also for what it's worth. We do have Pull of the Mist Moon. We can kick it, so our Spotter Topter can become... Okay, one of them did this before. They eat our land, so they gain 1 life. Sure. Yeah, we will kick this. So we're exiling the Froghemoth because it's already there. Then our Spotter Topter. I am going to, yeah, give ourselves another blue source. We're gonna hold this back because we might want to, because we might foresee a world where we do want to cycle this and actually. That said, our opponent is Ren 7, not the worst. Like, we can eat the token.
I will protect Minstrel's forests. The trees can fight their own.
So do I want to crack the Mind Stone? We have some more expensive plays, so I'm probably not going to crack it quite yet. I could just cycle the farmland instead. Draw Disruption, not so much. The Glasspool Mimic is interesting though. And exiling. So I do like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're a ways away from Emeria's Call, so I probably want to play Spar's Adjud. I want to have Spar's Adjudicators up top. And because we get to blink this, and it has the perpetual ability. And opponent concedes. Yeah, we pretty much controlled that game there a bit. We never hit our opponent in anger, but that was a solid one. We'll take that. Our opponent basically had a very slow start. They pretty much started turn 3, turn 4. That's, well, they started turn 3 if you turn 2 if you count the Golden Goose into Varys. So it was a good thing we were going first, because if we were on the draw and our opponent led on with that, we would have no response. Our opponent would have steamrolled us. Now there is no sideboarding, so I don't understand why our opponent's taking their time. Okay, they're back. They might. It's also easy to miss that this is a best of 3 format. But yeah, having having a lot of incidental removal really helps. Now we have 2 mana into a Memory Lapse. We need to draw into more mana, or else this is a dead hand. Despite having this many lands, I'm really not comfortable keeping this, so we're gonna mull. Now this one is way too many lands, but I guess we do keep this. So we want at least 1 blue. Boseiju is fine. Yes. There's an argument for keeping Gate also because we are short on spells. Okay, opponent conceded instead. Guess they could not wait. Now, many apologies, but I will take a free win if it comes my way. But it doesn't quite showcase the deck that much. We will have to do a few more rounds. Probably. I do expect to lose more often. Like if our opponent has a more streamlined aggro deck, we will pretty much lose unless we can hit one of our few board wipes. In fact, as far as few board wipes are concerned, we don't really have that many. It's mostly about us building up our board, so so our only board wipe is a time wipe. If you feel like you need to do a more controlling build, feel free to add more. This is an auto mull. Sometimes you just get this, and this is, I guess, okay. We can keep this. So definitely want to keep these two. We will have to bin 2 lands. Tiles, Sanctum. We need to keep the Fabled Passage, Overgrown Farmland. Yeah, I guess we bin the Boseiju. Opponent also leads in Once Upon a Time. I actually forgot that this card would help. And opponent is leading on green, presumably green-red, so this is an aggro deck. We are going to be... We are pretty much buying time with our Swords to Plowshares and Teferi's Protection. Thankfully, opponent might be mid-range, so we could be okay with that. I am not liking the slowdowns though. Is it too many effects for you, game? Anyway. Opponent really on green-red. Into a Kazandu mana. Basic. So we're gonna just hope we are running Teferi's Protection because yeah, we kind of need protection here. So Spotter Topter, hopefully to hit our. Looks like our opponent might be stuck, so we'll see if we can take advantage of that. We can also specializes. We can also Clement into Specialize, which pitching the Cloud Blazer, that is also a plan. It will buff up our future Spotter Topter. Well, not Cloud Blazer, since we're discarding that. Yeah, we'll go for it. So when this creature enters with a boon, we need it to be at least a 3/4. So Cloud Blazer has to go. Choose a card to keep. Unfortunately, as much as I want to keep these others, I guess we can keep the others. Yeah, we'll keep Lagrella. Ideally, I would have wanted to keep the ECD, but there is no guarantee we were going to hit our 5th mana in time. Yeah, pretty much we needed the tutor. There's a Rowan Games. Opponent is taking their time. Well, speaking of time, there's our time wipe. Now, this is a specialized trigger, so blinking it and bringing it back in does not quite help us. Definitely need these lands, maybe not Lair. Now, I am willing to swing with Clement, see if our opponent is willing to trade. Nope, not willing to trade. They're gonna make one creature a 4/4. We'll probably just take the hit. If we have to, we will just chump with Clement. We know we have the mana for time wipe, so we'll see how wide our opponent goes. Okay, they went too wide. They're going to realize their mistake when I cast time wipe. Or not. that is just to pretty much fizzle this part of the first number 1 games. Also because we noted our opponent was having some sort of mana trouble, so we were willing to go for it. They're also having card troubles apparently. Yeah, we're gonna scry again. Now they will fix their mana problems as soon as they get the gold token. Definitely want some more mana, but I do want Overseer. I don't need the Hallowed Fountain anymore at this point. Opponent might have removal for this guy. Let's see what their big 5-drop is. But yeah, that was a very good time wipe. Rex Sage to take out Spotter Copter, sure. Although I did well, actually no, we can play Inspiring Overseer, hit our land, then cast Lid. Yeah, we're gonna cast Lagrella now. Our opponent is yeah, and we're gonna blink our own Inspiring Overseer too. If our opponent wants to answer Lagrella, I'm fine with that. If our opponent suddenly drops a big creature at this point, we're not quite the big creature. We can hard cast this for 5. The problem is, it's hardcast for 5. And I guess I'm fine with it. We could also just cast this as a 2/2 and just start pumping it from there. We are not quite in a rush. So we're gonna see what our opponent drops next. We do have Teferi's Protection that we can land on. I'm also quite willing to actually just trade the Assembler for Dryad. Ooh, our opponent is a multicolored deck. So they were missing a lot of colors. Okay, things are making more sense now. Yeah, have a clue. And the nice thing is we can now attack with Autonomous Assembler. Yeah, they can read that this is actually just puts a counters, and this is also an assembly worker. Opponent's just gonna crack the clue. Probably not gonna block, so might as well pump it now. That said, our situation is not exactly bulletproof. Our opponent was sitting on quite a few cards, presumably because they were missing colors. Also note that if our opponent unlocks the Rex Sage, we lose our Autonomous Assembler. Now I am willing to trade these two actually. Opponent not quite. Also, do we have 4 mana spell we want to cast? Not really. Now you might be wondering, why am I casting it on the cheap? For the most part, it's because I'm really holding up Teferi's Protection here. Yeah, we're kind of giving them extra card draws, which is not ideal. I probably could have just used the Swords of Plowshares, given them the extra life. But might as well get out of the way now. Let's see what happens from there. Cold-blooded 8 Titan. Titan 8. Let's see which one he fights. Do they have a removal spell in response? That would be somewhat annoying. We are going to take 5. Well, no, we're not taking 5. That's what Teferi's Protection does. It blanks it too. Oh, they have an instant speed fight spell. Okay, force them to use that in addition, so not too bad. So we are... Oh, we can... It enters the battle... Oh, we copy Arcane Proxy. It copies the small version, which is fine because I just want to cast Swords to Plow. Yeah, it gives them a lot of life, which is on the annoying side. But I don't want to take the risk of them being able to answer the Lagrella. It's also legendary, so we would have to pop one. Now our opponent's cooking with gas. We can kind of buy time with the Castle Arden Vale, especially if our opponent's choosing Vigilance. But we do need an answer here. We're gonna take 4 for reals. Also note that this event is on a timer. We are actually spending more time than our opponent. Yeah, losing that automaton was not ideal. Also, our opponent's also sitting in the Crawling Barrens as well. Yeah, having Planeswalkers would really help. Would really help because it's just repeatable advantage. Our opponent did have they had the Gauntlet too.
The more the harrier.
We'll give it one turn, but I think we concede this particular match. Oh, they hit a Vortex as well. Yeah, I guess we can concede that. And the reason I know this is because we don't exactly have... We already used up our Time Wipe. And our Teferi's Protection for that matter. So... We would have needed to hit our ECD and our Mightstone and Weakstone, but we would have needed both of... We would have needed them immediately. So this one is more keepable. We have a Divide by 0, missing another blue source, missing some green sources too. Opponent has to terminate build a blue spin. Now, yeah, Soul Herder on itself is pretty not ideal. Let's see. Opponent just goes for Domri. We probably... Let's see what their follow-up is. If it's just Pump, we're probably gonna just bounce this, yeah. Yeah, we're bouncing this because we need to draw and discard. Oh, we need to discard first. This one's double green, this one's single green. I guess we pitch the Automaton. Okay, Skyclave Apparition is a good hit here. It's rinse and repeat with Soul Herder until our opponent hits something big. Oh, opponent is missing stuff. Okay. Now let's hope our opponent does not have a response to this. If their only response is to make a food token, we got it. Again, missing the colored mana is still a reality, so that's why having... If our opponent's placed to cast Domri, yeah, we can give them a 1/1 creature.
Busting heads is my bread and butter.
No, okay, they don't have. Yes, we will exile. Yeah, get rid of their extra mana
I'll be
source.
back after I've licked my words. You'll see.
So if our opponent, now we are giving them quite a few tokens, so that might be an issue. Also note that because this is a triggered ability, if we return with Time Wipe, they will get the token because of the way the triggers work. And also we know that we really want to save that Time Wipe. So we're kind of hoping that we can hit Questing Beast. We can hit it with Skyclave Apparition, so I'm actually... Okay, we also hit the Dream Cascade as well. Kind of going off the chain here. And I need to be careful not to hit the side of the table. It's possible to lock up my computer that way. So we now have the 9. We can cast Hulking Metamorph, let's say, on us. Ooh, Biogenic Ooze, we are not going to be able to hit that. But let's see what options we have. I kind of want to actually cycle this. Let's see what we can hit. Another land. So maybe there is a weakness to running too many lands. I am willing to swing with the Cradle Clear Cutter. We're gonna see if our opponent trades. They might end up trading a token. They might end. Oh, they're just taking it. Okay. So I'm not gonna commit the I'm not gonna commit the Metamorph, though we now don't have the mana to activate this. Maybe tap. That was a bit too hasty. Right now it's all about growing this Soul Herder. And if things get hairy, we will just Time Wipe the board. What will we get back? Most likely the Soul Herder? Like, we are in a position to Soul Herder Metamorph, though triggers are gonna be awkward on this. Gem Razor, targeting the Clear Cutter. Yep, definitely. So opponent probably swings with this. Yeah, we're definitely going to Wrath the board now. If our opponent swings with this, I will block with Skyclave Apparition. That should be a clue. That said, it's still, our opponent still has a grip on quite a few cards, so we could still be in trouble there. Opponent probably now inscription to fight. No, I really want that. Now, unfortunately, it means we lose our... But if our opponent's play is only smaller creatures... Okay, Shifting Ceratops is a problem. We can fragment it, though. And this is only an artifact or creature I control, so Yeah, we'll Soul Herder because they know it's there. I can play Metal Morph. Yeah, copy this. Okay, so this is... okay, so we want this trigger to resolve first. And so that one, yes, we want to blink it. And it will trigger. So this one, we actually do want to blink this. Yeah, it doesn't give this one a counter, but it does give this one a counter. Opponent does have a Great Henge. That would be a nice thing to copy, I suppose. Opponent goes Rhythm. Oh yeah, because it's blue, we can't block it. It will put a random creature with lesser value, so 3, 2, 1. Gets them a 2, though Scavenging Ooze not the best one. Also, we really should be manually tapping. Can't really hit. So we do want to blink the Stonebinder's Familiar. Just target it also. Yeah, we take action on one, it'll skip the other. Problem is our opponent still has quite a full grip. Vorinclex means we stop gaining counters, but at least our 10-10 can tangle their 7-7 for now. 9-9. Oh yeah, because it got the counter from this. Kinda need to stop hitting lands here. Kinda want to hit one of our utility creatures, but that might not quite happen. Oh, do they have a response to that? Well, if... oh, it's just XL. Okay, sure. It's... oh yeah, I'm not gaining any more counters. That's a problem. Yeah, because of Vorinclex, we're not gonna get any more counters here. Yeah, the Vorinclex is kind of what kills us here. Also, drawing into more lands at this point is not so great. We can get ourselves a chump blocker, well, not for the Pelt Collector, but... oh wow. Once upon a time... if they hit the land and they decide to swing, I will commit the entire board. They decide to give us Clotus instead. Oh my gosh. So sometimes your opponent just draws into everything, so it's... well, that is kind of the power of the Great Henge. We're actually kind of lacking on the card draw department because we were hoping to close out the game quickly, but that was not the case. Although if our opponent is offering that... we're probably dead to Clotus anyway. No, wait, no. We 13, 14. No, we need... yeah, we're dead. So yeah, we did not win this one. We kind of stalled out there. Maybe run... some might argue run fewer lands. I might actually like sub some of the basics for cycling lands. Those would be those are really good options. Probably just the white cycling land because we're gonna hit white most of the time. Cards like Once Upon a Time, probably good addition as well. We do have some mana based, well, artifact based mana, but not quite a lot. Anyway, let's give it one more game because that first one went way too fast. Let's hope we can close out with another one. See how that one goes. And again, the game deciding that we're not gonna play, definitely not keeping one lander in this colony. We will keep this. Semester's End is one of our bounce lands, so we will keep that. I can actually in fact see an argument for keeping the farmland since we're only casting stuff on turn 2. So assembler and 2, maybe if we don't draw another land. Usually not a good sign if you're seeing people scry because that's a. Oh yeah, this is our other board wipes. Probably want to run a farewell as well, given what we're running into. Also, the Emerius Call maybe might want to swap it out with. Okay, looks like we hit our combo after all. I'm gonna swing first, see if our opponent has a response. Opponent probably wondering why I'm not. Got our 4/5. Obscura Polymorphous. Yeah, exiles the Soul Herder makes sense. Gets us a Rescuer on hand, which is not so bad. Ooh, that's actually a mistake. We have a lot more double green. Also in the Blink plan. Now take note that Rescuer is not so great because it brings it back to hand, so maybe the Semester's End would have been better, but holding up 4 mana would have been way too... Tree Life, draw a card. Yeah, I guess we cycle now. Night of Autumn, kinda decent hit. Combat Treasure is also a decent hit here as well. Let's see if our opponent blocks. Nope. Not an assembly worker. Yeah, so we're just all in on this big guy. It's only a matter of time before our opponent hits something that... Oh, actually white-blue. We could have run the Polymorphist, in fact. Anyway. Let's grab a forest. So pretty much if our opponent starts exiling our stuff, we will Supreme Verdict the board. Start again from there. Opponent goes Glasspool Mimic into Polymorphous. Well, Clement's fine. Let's see if they have the Ephemerate or I'll take the hit. Let's see if our opponent decides to do anything to Combat Treasure. Okay, counter this. No, Memory Lapse actually does counter this, so I do have a copy of this in hand. So at least we reset the board in that sense. Opponent now cycling their own irrigated farmland. Let's see what they hit. I do like the idea of Clement into a 4/4 that when it leaves creates a 4/4 not exciting. I will take it.
Sorry, keep up the pace.
Actually, that might be a better play here since our opponent's not exactly casting anything of note. Also, Semester's End, if we can get it to work, will be interesting here because yeah, it will leave the battlefield, give us our Ox, send something in again. Mull Drifter, draw 2 cards. We might just exile it before our opponent starts a blink chain on this. Also, because we kind of want to punch through, so blinking it's probably a very good idea.
No time for a break.
So opponent again in full load. We probably still want to hit the fairy here. I am also quite tempted to just give it a +1 counter, but no.
Don't make another move.
Kind of harshly. We're gonna just cast the combat treasure. See if our opponent no counter spells. And yeah, we might as well draw into another card. Opponent's probably holding onto a board wipe now. And if our opponent board wipes, we still get the Ox. Thankfully, this is a leaves trigger.
Let's skip to the good part.
Opponent, you know, saw them. Okay. So we're definitely holding up Semester's End here. We're gonna swing. We're gonna swing 2 creatures at them, Teferi, and swing the Priest. Might Stone and Weak Stone's kind of nice, but I am willing to just give up the Priest here, so that's not too bad. Let's see, opponent chump blocks. Okay, sure. Blur, exile target creature control, then draw a card. Yeah, not doing anything with that, so our opponent is gonna get a 3 land draw. Also, Semester's End's nice is that it only returns it at the beginning of the next end step.
That now.
And Teferi down.
Really should have seen that coming.
If our opponent swings, we're just gonna take the 2 here just to... Because our opponent has weight. Toss a Deep Dwelling. There's the blink. If they swing, we actually get to Wandering Emperor, but we lose protection for everything else. Am I okay with that? Yes, I'm okay with that. Opponent might have a way to blink it again and then blink it again, but that makes it less likely for them to do anything else.
You are not much of a roadblock.
Okay, and now we have Memory Lapse back up, so...
I have got new moves to teach you.
Now our opponent probably just activates. It has Ward Tree. We'll see what creature they block. That one? Yeah, because unfortunately Ward Tree means this doesn't hit. I could just cast this and draw 2 cards. That's still fine. Am I willing to give up the combat treasure? Yes, actually. Yes, I'm fine actually. So we're literally holding up for these 2 because we don't have... Man, our opponent drew a lot more cards. Well, just 5 more cards, but they were able to play out all their lands. They had a very solid run. We had to spend a lot of resources.
Let your blade do the talking.
Let's see if our opponent has a counter for this. Dovin's Veto would be not the worst. It's still kind of bad though.
Back to wandering.
And I should be able to activate.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
No, did not let me activate, but that's fine. I'm actually wondering why our opponent has such a full grip but hasn't actually... So... Charming Prince. Okay, we'll let that go. Opponent is gaining life, so it's gonna go up to 10. So we're gonna find out what exactly is in our opponent's hand that they're not casting anything at all. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can activate this to make it 11, but that means I'll have no mana for memory lapse backup. So 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Also, our opponent actually has a second blocker, so yeah, we're just really clearing the board at this point. Also, I'm surprised our opponent's not actually spending mana to... Yeah, if we only had more... One is willing to go down to 9. What's... Okay. Yeah, we'll cast the Boar Scare Tollkeeper just to have an idea what they actually have been sitting on this whole time. Oh my gosh. Wait, they do have one non... My gosh, our opponent has been drawing so many lands. Okay, so tap it down, that's fine. If their goal is just take out Wandering Emperor... We'll lose the Wandering Emperor, that's fine. That means they will have land for one more creature, for one more activation, so that's not so ideal. Or they even play the planes that enter the battlefield tap. Dad, you're not using the headset. You're on the TV. Okay, so we... Ooh, looks like that... Okay, looks like you got a free pass here. We'll go our turn. We'll not show this. Opponent will have enough mana to... Oh, they let it go. They're... Teferi's Protection. Memory Lapse to ruin people's day. Yep, there we go. I knew holding up the holding onto that memory lapse for the longest time was going to be very important. And yeah, we're gonna crash into the next game. See if let's see how things pan out here. Two lands. When we only start the turn 3. I'm gonna keep only because our opponent kept, but we probably could lose this game with this decision. So let's be. Okay. Yeah, we'll pay the 2 life. We'll give ourselves a 2/2 creature. Opponent goes Nadar, which. So they're gonna be dungeoneering a bit. Decline. We could just play Linvala as protection. Also, this is a oh yeah, so it's just a wizard. We get clerics into wizards, not much. We need 1 more mana, so there's a good chance we're casting Inspiring Overseer if we don't hit anything else. I am willing to block Linvala based on the situation here. Wandering Emperor. Yeah, they hit their curve on time. We are struggling, so if we can hit our mana, it's fine. No, we didn't hit our mana. We did hit a pull of the Mist Moon. I kind of want to see if we can actually hit our mana, so I'm gonna go Inspiring Overseer. Yeah, that is a mana hit. We'll take it. We'll probably, if our opponent gives us the chance to mass block everything onto Nadar, we will. Nope, it doesn't give us that chance, so we're going to chump block with. We're going to chump block with this guy. Opponent runs Solemn Simulacrum. We can just Supreme Verdict if we don't hit the mana at all. We did hit some mana, but it's a bit late. Yeah, we're gonna Supreme Verdict. Yeah, who are we kidding? Let's grab our island. So Metamorph copies. Ideally, we play Elite Guard Mage first, but we're most likely gonna play pull. We're most likely gonna play pull. Fibble Tip. Samurai.
May your blade strike true.
Lagrella is also an option, but let's see if our opponent actually has counter magic. Usually, so this one becomes the target of a spell. I'm actually fine with that blinking, so we're gonna actually take out the Wandering Emperor first. Our opponent might have a way to blink that, but usually it's a way to blink creatures. There are a few spells that protect planeswalkers. I think Momentary Blink can hit non-land permanents, so that's one way to get the free blink there. But we will get a second shot at it.
For this?
I guess we choose the Metamorph. That's Nightclub Bouncer. Return target. Okay. Does give us an excuse to board wipe again. opponent is now going on the beatdown plan.
I have got new moves to teach you.
Protection. Yeah, we can concede. Look, our opponent had everything in a row. Sometimes games just end up that way. You get everything lined up, or you don't get everything lined up. Like for people that complain about the shuffler, and if you're at least best of one is more forgiving in that sense. Imagine if you're playing best of 3 and well, this is a much better hand. This is a much better hand than most were automatically keeping this. Go first final for white. Elite Spellbinder is gonna probably be a huge pain. Also noticing that the slowdown happens with a lot of search effects. Traven Inspector. I generally avoided putting a lot of those cards because it's easy to get no value out of them. If we can hit another white mana, we can Elite Spellbinder and hold up Ephemerate, which is actually a very big deal. Nope, we got the Breeding Pool instead. I'm actually going to take the tool. For no other reason than I'm afraid of Mana Tide. That fear was unfounded. So let's see. They do have the same idea we do. Can't take out their combat treasure. Touch the Spirit Realm brings it back. We can take out their Wandering Emperor, but we know we have a way to bring it back. So we're actually gonna hit their combat treasure. Now, we'll see if they do touch the Spirit Realm right away. Nope, they're just going for the draw cards. Which actually... So we're taking out the Emperor here. We're willing to let them have to touch the Spirit Realm because we have an out to that. Now that said, Elish Norn, we have to beat them before they get to Elish Norn. Solemn is fine. Ephemerate means we can. Oh, okay. That's actually what we're gonna do. We're gonna blink the first one. We should have blinked this other one. So kind of goofed up on that. They're very close, so we're gonna actually take out their Elish Norn as well. Oh, this is actually fine. Yeah, because we're playing this, get ourselves a Plains, and we still can play Bark Channel Pathway. The idea is that we want to be able to hold up our Touch the Spirit Realm. Now our opponent does have mana to now cast their Touch the Spirit Realm. they can... Yeah, I'm expecting them to do that. I'm expecting them to hit our elite spellbinder, our big elite spellbinder.
I've learned much during my travels. Let me show you.
Yeah, gonna trade, draw a card. That's kind of fine. Swords to Plow is a good follow up here. Copy Elite Spellbinder again. Let's see what we take out this time. OG is a problem. We're basically now holding up the Swords to Plow for this. I'm okay with them taking out our big elite spellbinder now. They earned it.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Yeah, we unfortunately have to save the swords for the big one now. We also have to save one hit for here. Opponent might just crack that, draw another card, sure. Linvala's a solid addition.
Our swords will cross again.
Let's see. No, but now our opponent has a good number of cards that we don't know. And technically, they still have all these cards even though they're more expensive. So that's one spell. Yeah, we're gonna have to let him gain 2 life and scry 2. Because these will outpace this, so I'm kinda okay with that. I'm not okay with just drawing lands though. They are approaching 9 mana, so... Yeah, Elishnorg, we're gonna lose Elite Spellbinder. And thankfully, they only gain 4 power, not 7. Okay, they... I want to know why our opponent did that. They might have a way to get stuff back from the yard. That's the only thing I can think of. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria.
Right on schedule.
Sure.
You need to take a time out.
Now, I am willing to animate the Guardian Idol if our opponent does swing a Traven Inspector. They're really playing it out. Do they really need this much mana? I certainly don't. Yeah, that because that is more likely to get it. And then played that so we can have our Guardian Idol up available. Opponent is going to be drawing cards like crazy now. We need to be able to keep hitting. I think our opponent is playing out all their mana because they do have an answer for Hall of Storm Giants, but they need to have all the mana to pay for it. Now, this guy is not an answer by itself. We'll see what our opponent chooses. If our opponent chooses negative, make a token. Let's see if our opponent has an answer to this. Basically, we want them to expend as many cards as possible. No, they just gave it up. I guess they wanted to clear the way for this guy. We hit our own combat treasure, but do we want to cast this or do we want to just keep swinging? Our opponent only has 3 mana, so it will have to be a 0 mana answer. The caveat is this will trade for both of these, so it's not impressive. I might as well just cast this for full. Hit our Linvala. Okay, we'll save that for later. So if we draw 1 more mana, we can Linvala, then animate Hall of Storm Giants. The opponent has a deputy. Okay. So taking a bit of a beating here. We might lose this one, but man.
Keep up the pace.
Well, I wouldn't say it was close. Our opponent was just gaining a lot of advantage from Teferi, so kind of miserable on that front. Maybe we have an out to get this guy back. Supreme Verdict is an out. Now they might have a Teferi's Protection, which does phase the board out. Kind of annoying on that sense, but they might have a blink effect, but it will have to not return immediately. Okay. Opponent does have a Broker's Safeguard. Ooh, nice combo. So basically they still keep this. And I can probably just play Linvala here. Give ourselves something to do. We'll hold back the Spar's headquarters. We really need to draw cards. We are actually missing out on a lot of white and blue cards. I did intentionally lean it more towards whites to avoid mana issues, though it looks like we haven't been hitting quite a lot of them. We're more likely to lose to all this card draw our opponent has, though. Yeah, Blade Splicer, pretty solid. I opted for the more control the hand approach. We got quite close, but not close enough. Eventually, our opponent did hit all their mana. Baron, return up to 1 target creature. So we're taking 1 damage. Okay, that's fine. Clone Crafter. Now, any creature they could get from us is a bit of a problem. Clement, but kind of cast it right away. So, as long as this is up, this is 3. So I can still hold this up for Spara's headquarters. We'll keep that in mind.
time for a break.
Okay, so that seeks one card. Yeah, in hindsight, we probably should also be running our own Teferi. There's also probably an argument for not running a lot of the green, some of the green cards, but a lot of the prototypes are there. Our opponent is running a more streamlined version of this. Trying to do some of the math here. 3, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we would have to block. Create a top against feature. We lost just to that. Also, what? Oh yeah, they also countered the activate ability too. Yeah, that. Unfortunately, that is our weakness. We lose to the long game. It is what it is. Oh well. Don't let this dissuade you though. The concept is quite sound. I will admit that some parts of the deck could be improved, but I'll pretty much leave this an exercise the next time we get Gladiator around. If you guys haven't checked it out, we still have about 1 day left in Gladiator as of the time of this recording. So do check it out. See what we have. That's going to be it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone.